How has your life changed since you won the world title?
I guess more than anything, just mentally, because I finally accomplished a goal, a dream that I put for myself to accomplish, to reach, and I have. And now it's to the next level. It's for the next goals, the next dreams that I wanna accomplish.
I think it's good, though, that you're right back in action. It's nice to win the world title. It's the culmination, but now even the harder, tougher work begins because I think once you get there, staying there is just as tough.
Every fight is tough. That's the way we see it. Now I have the champion's mentality where I'm the champion and I have to elevate to the championship status. To show, improve why I became world champion in the first place. And then, I'm a showsman and I'm here. I'm here to give the fans a great show.
One of the things that will go along with that will be your new trainer. He was your trainer in your last fight, Salas. Of course, we interviewed you back in the day when you had Alcazar. Why the switch? And tell us about the transition. And obviously, it led you to a championship. So talk about it.
Yeah. Well, I have a great team. I'm very thankful with the team that I have. They're taking me to the next level with Ismael Salas, also Richie Sandoval. He's part of the team. And the whole Team Vargas that is surrounding us right now is very positive and taking us to the next level. It really is. I became world champion with them, and we have fun here every day. I don't want to miss a day because every day I learn something new. And this comes from a world champion, but I'm confident to tell you, hey, I'm a student of the game, and I'm here not to stay a world champion, but to continue to elevate my talent, to continue to give you the best Jessie Vargas that I can possibly become. Because I'm here for the long run. I'm 25 years old, but this is I'm here for the long run.
One of the things that you and I talked about when we did the in-ring before you were champion was defining you as a fighter, and you're a guy that you're not the fastest guy in the world, but you got speed. You're not the knockout puncher of all. You're not Golovkin, but you can punch. How do you define yourself now as a fighter, as a world champion?
Well, I'm still young, and all that's going to change. Soon. I think this fight you will see more strength coming from Jessie Vargas, more power, more speed, more explosiveness, more experience, more footwork. Everything is improving because now I'm a world champion and I have to elevate to that world champion status, and you'll see it come Saturday night.
Well, with a Cuban trainer, we'll see more angles too, won't we?
That's right. That's correct.
In terms of your opponent, you beat a Russian to win the title. You're defending your title against this Russian. What do you know about him?
He's an undefeated fighter with a record that consists of 29-0, undefeated. And, he comes to fight. He throws a lot of punches. He lets his hand go. He has a little bit of an awkward style, but nothing that we can't adjust to. The game plan that Ismael Salas has created, we will be sure to make it in effect come Saturday night. And we have a plan A, plan B, and plan C. So anything that will come to us Saturday night, we'll have something to counterattack it, and not only that, but attack him to make the fight that I want it to be.
You just said something. You said adapt, and I think if I have to, when I get asked about you as a fighter, I think adaptability and adjustability, being able to do that in a fight, change, switch your pace around is something I think that really right now is what you do best.
Thank you, Smitty, and I can relate to it. I feel the same way. That I've always said it since I was young. It doesn't matter what style they put in front of me. Not to sound cocky. It's just I find ways I find weaknesses. I find ways to adapt. I find it. I find everything to make it easier for me. In the ring, and I'm very fortunate to have that style.
How will it feel on Saturday night to be introduced at the Cosmopolitan, the local guy defending his WBA championship with all your fans?
It's gonna be great. More than anything, I'm looking forward to the great the turnout that we're gonna have. I think that Las Vegas is gonna be full in effect come Saturday night, and they're gonna be there supporting me, and I'm looking forward to giving them a great show.
Give us a prediction.
Jessie Vargas by a great, spectacular victory. Whether it's by knockout or decision, but spectacular victory. You're gonna see a good Jessie Vargas, great Jessie Vargas in the ring come Saturday night.
Let's go back to your last fight. You lost it, but you fought against one of the great fighters over the past decade. You didn't get beat up, you didn't get hurt, but what do you take from the fight with Manny Pacquiao?
That was my first rodeo. I took a lot from it. it happens. It happened the way it did. I'm glad. I'm not glad that I lost that fight, but it did suck. But I'm glad I lost to somebody like Manny Pacquiao, one of the greatest in the world. I didn't get knocked out, which I'm happy. It's just I wasn't. To me, I wasn't mentally ready for that fight. It was my first rodeo. I got bucked off, so it wasn't my first fight. Second fight, I'll be ready.
And just to keep on that one, for the people want to know, the positive test, was that a situation where is it Ariza's fault, or can we put a fault on it?
I don't know. Honestly, we couldn't because there was so much. When they made me take the piss, it was like they made me take a piss in a regular cup, a glass cup, one from where I washed my mouth with, from the toupees, everything. It was dirty cup in my room because the guy they didn't come in with the right stuff. It's like if you are representing Nevada, whatever, to take a pee test, you should have everything with you ready to go for a fight. And they didn't. So, I had to wait. I went to my room. I had to wait like 30 minutes just for them to get something. I had to pee so bad, so I was like, I got to go. And so they're like, we'll just piss in this cup and we'll transfer it to the container. So we don't know whose fault it was. It was just one of those shit that it was just big mistake.
We would have loved to come out clean or at least try to do something about it. But this was the first time. We didn't know much about it. We didn't know what it was. So we had pretty much no choice to just sit and wait.
Was that, I don't know, for lack of a better term, the last straw for Ariza? You're the boss with Oxnard. You make the decision. Is that why he's gone, or was it a culmination of things, or maybe just wanting to go back to what you said, old school boxing without the strength and conditioning guys?
That's pretty much what we decided to do with Brandon, Mikey, even Maidana. Even though we have a good friend of mine from Mexico, Raul, working with Maidana, but it's more about just the physical training, the running, the hard workouts. It's not about taking this, taking that, or stuff like that. We're training hard. We're getting the vitamins that we need and training hard. That's what we're doing with my fighters. We don't, after that, after what happened with Brandon, he still worked with us. He still worked with us on Mikey's fight. He still worked with us with Maidana's fight. So it wasn't. That was not the reason. It was just. The whole team decided that we're better off going back to the way we all became champions. Mikey became champion. The way Maidana was beating everybody up, and Brandon was doing the same. I became champion. Fernando Vargas became champion. So that we kind of, my dad, myself, and the whole team, we kind of decided to go on our own like that.
One of the things I was just talking to Robert about, I'm an old school guy, and you're an old school fighter. The way when I watch you, I think old school,
Right.
and you're back to old school stuff. And I'm just going to give you my own opinion. You can talk about it if you want. I don't have any problem with strength and conditioning guys. They can be great in between fights, get a guy. But when it's time to fight at a level like you're fighting, it's more about running, hitting the bags, and sparring and listening to Robert.
Correct. That's exactly what happened. That's why we choose not to get a conditioning coach this time. Because before, I was just doing it on my own, like old school ways, training hard and just doing everything. And we thought maybe a physical trainer can help much better, give me more strong, whatever. Which I think it kind of did affect me. Because my last two fights, I had a fresh strength and conditioning coach, I lost them. And prior to that, I was unstoppable. I was a monster. I kept coming and everything. So we're back to our old self again. I keep it old school way and just train hard, eat right, and just follow instruction, whatever the corner's man tells us to do.
Chaves, and we know it's now going to be him. I scouted him for a couple of times. He's a pretty good fighter. What do you think about Saturday night?
Well, I seen the fight with some of the fights with Keith Thurman, a couple rounds. And then I seen some of the fights with fights in Argentina, because most of his fights are in Argentina. But he is a strong guy. He does got skills. But I'm ready for Saturday night. He's fighting Brandon Rios, the old Brandon Rios, the one that's hungry again, the one that's ready to fight again. That's who he's fighting.
Saturday night, what are we looking for in his performance?
Well, look, Brandon. As everybody knows, we made a few changes in camp, but he also made personal changes himself. He's working like he used to work early in his career when he had those great wins before losing those two fights in a row. He's thinking different. He's following instructions. He followed instructions with the food, which is the most important thing. He always had trouble with that, and this time we hired a cook who's great at what he does, and the weight came off so easy. Brandon is just a couple pounds overweight, still drinking, still eating, and it's, we're the week of the fight. We're 2 days away from the weigh-in. One thing he never did before. He would always starve the last week before the fight, and it's no secret to nobody. Everybody knows that. And now this time around, he made those changes, and he's mentally ready for this fight. And we know the fight's not easy. We know Diego Chaves is a very tough guy, very durable guy, but we have to face him, and that's why we train very hard for this fight.
Well, look into that camera and tell your fans what's going to happen on Saturday night.
Saturday night, everybody should be here at the Cosmopolitan or watch on HBO, because you're going to see the old Brandon back, and I'm ready to go, and I'm going to be strong again. And you guys are going to see me, non-stoppable beast coming forward.
And by the way, Brandon, one of the things that he's really excited about is my new beard. He really thinks I look hot.
It looks very hot, girls. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think, girls?